The title for this session is New Paths Forward for the U.S.-India Relationship. The premise of this conference, as we heard this morning, is that even prior to the last year of relations, the U.S.-India relationship needed to go much further than it has gone. And so we could talk about that, but we have a whole nother slew of issues to discuss given the, let's say, disruptions to the relationship over the last year. We have a very illustrious panel to discuss that with, and so I will kind of step out of the way as early as I can. But let me just introduce them, starting with Ram, closest to me, and then working my way down. Dr. Ram Madhav is the president of the India Foundation, a prominent Delhi-based think tank. From 2014 to 2020, he served as National General Secretary of the BJP. He's also a prolific author of several books, including The Hindutva Paradigm and The New World, 21st Century Global Order and India. Next to him is Elizabeth Threlkeld, who is the Senior Fellow and Director of the South Asia Program at the Stimson Center, where she has worked since 2018. Before Stimson, she served as a Foreign Service Officer with the U.S. State Department, where she was a recipient of the Superior Honor Award. And next to her is Dr. Kurt Campbell, who is the chairman and co-founder of the Asia Group. In government, he most recently served as the 22nd Deputy Secretary of the Department of State and served as the inaugural Indo-Pacific Coordinator, or Asia Czar, as it was often referred to in the press, at the National Security Council and Deputy Assistant to the President from 2021 to 2024. So we can't really find a much better panel to discuss this issue, and I just want to throw it to the panelists for a quick introduction. What a 5-minute opener, what do you think is most important to get the U.S.-India relationship on track and to take it where it needs to go? I'll start with you, Ram. Sure, feel free, or happy to, yeah, sorry. It's
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Bill. Friends, good afternoon. I know this is the most difficult session of the day, post-lunch. Let me start by reiterating what many speakers have said since morning, that this relationship is a very important relationship, but it's going to be a lasting relationship. There is no doubt about it. But let me do some frank talk here. Talking about future, we cannot ignore the present and talk about a rosy future. The relationship between our two countries stood on 3 verticals. One was geostrategic. We had great understanding about our geostrategic priorities. There was a broad alignment when it came to China, when it came to Islamic terror, issues like that. Today, it doesn't seem so anymore. We don't understand what are the geostrategic priorities of the US government now. Not just we. I don't hesitate to say even probably the NATO guys don't understand it. The Europeans don't understand it. The Quad doesn't understand it. Who understands it, really, we don't know. So one is that geostrategic pillar is shaking. Second is geo-economic relationship has been a very strong relationship between our two countries, especially in the last 20 years. We have invested heavily on that relationship. We built a strong bilateral economic partnership today, which is more than $220 billion today. And that relationship included defense relationship, IT relationship, and we have a very important intelligence sharing relationship. It's a very important relationship that we have built over the last 2 decades. That's on a very shaky wicket. We're talking about economy, people sometimes tend to talk about the inflows of FDI from USA. Let me tell you, the inflows last year were about 5.6 or 6 billion. The outflows were 7 billion. We are also facing net negative FDI from the US. On economy, you have seen what all happened in the last 1 year, especially on the question of tariffs, on the question of many economy-related issues, how far we went. I mean, how bad this whole relationship became in the last 1 year is very well before us. we are looking forward to the trade deal, which is expected to be concluded in less than a month now. We are hoping that when Secretary Rubio visits India next month, we would have finally closed the deal, clinched the deal. That is a very important deal for us because we are hoping that we will have a better tariff regime in this new deal that is being finalized now. At least that's the feedback, that's the information we get from the government. The third important vertical or pillar has been the people to people, the diaspora relationship. This diaspora, at least in the last 15 to 20 years, has been playing a very important role in our relationship. I remember during the nuclear negotiations in early 2006 to 2009, diaspora played a very important role in strengthening the US position and, of course, position of the Indian government at that time. Although in opposition, we used to oppose the deal. Then community guys used to come and tell us that don't oppose it, it is in our interest of both countries. So since then, the Indian diaspora has been playing a very important role. But today, there is a lot of anxiety, lot of worries among the diaspora also. That needs to be taken seriously. I mean, when things like hellhole or things like, some kind of laptop wielding charlatans, these kind of things are said about the community gets worried. So I think these three pillars have to be very seriously taken for this relationship to go forward. I will suggest three things which are very important for bringing this relationship back onto what it used to be a couple of years ago, which unfortunately we used these 3 points for China. It in itself is a tragic commentary that I'm using them for America today. Those three are mutual respect. I don't want to go into what all happened, what all words were used, what all things are happening in terms of arguing one's case. But mutual respect is very important. Mutual sensitivity is important. When we said that we want multi-alignment, we were either ridiculed or frowned upon. Strategic autonomy was rubbished. But what is happening today? What US is doing is precisely the same. Because it is in your interest, you can go with so-and-so country, you can go with so-and-so country. You don't look at the sensitivities of other countries. Mutual sensitivity is another aspect that we have to take into account. And finally, mutual interest. On mutual interest, we have to build a consensus once again. On that, we have to work. When I said these things, I'm not trying to say that relationship is bad or it is diminishing or anything like that. I'm just cautioning that it's not enough to be goody-goody about the things. It is important to really look at what is happening in front of us, how we can correct them. One may say it's a passing phase. Countries do not have that luxury to take 4 years as passing phase. Contemporary challenges have to be addressed in order for the future to be good for both the countries. That's the reason why I thought we need to focus on these issues in order to ensure that the future trajectory will be a better one for our two countries. I will end here. Thank you.